What's the first thing you notice when you buy a home? Well, you want to replace the carpet, you hate the paint, and the wallpaper, it's got to go. I can't tackle all of that in one show, but I tell you what, I will start with the wallpaper. This is a common problem that many people run into. Trying to remove the wallpaper can be difficult. You'll notice that I've even scratched the wallboard a little bit trying to get this off. That tells me that this wallpaper is on here tight. So to make it easier on ourselves, we can leave this up and wallpaper right over it. We still need to prep the wall. This is a sanding stick, and this is what the pros use. See how this swivels? So that makes it easy to use. What you want to do is just smooth the surface a little bit. And if you don't have a sanding stick, use a sanding block or whatever you have. Just take your hand and rub it over the area, smooth out any surfaces that you find. Like for instance, here's a seam that needs to be smoothed down. The next step is to size the wall. What is sizing? Well, it's just like you should prime before you paint. You should size the wall before you wallpaper. This will create a new surface so that your wallpaper has something to bond to and it will stay put. Now this is an important step that many people leave out. If you don't size the wall, what can happen over time with the temperature and the humidity changes is the wallpaper can literally start to peel away at the edges, roll back, and it can even fall off the wall. And I know you don't want that. So take the extra time and size the wall. According to my measurements, we need 9 strips of wallpaper to do this job. Now you may think that you can just roll this out and cut it off, right? Wrong. This is one of the most common mistakes that people make. Let me show you what I'm talking about. People fail to realize that just because they cut the same length doesn't necessarily mean that their pattern's going to match up. This is what we've got. Same lengths, but look, no way does this pattern match up. So in order for me to match this up, I need to bring my paper here. Now see, I've got green here, and I've got the brown pattern here, so this is a match. But now I'm short. Let me show you how to avoid this mistake. Take your paper and match up the pattern before you cut it. Okay, here's my green. See the green here and the brown? Now I've got a match. However, now I'm short at the top. So what you need to do is bring your paper up to the next pattern match, which is here. Then you can clamp this off and cut it at the other end. We have all of this excess up here at the top, but it doesn't matter because at least we know all of the patterns match up. So all we have to do is just cut this off. Now that your strips are cut to size, you need to roll them up individually, just like this. Warner makes a great wallpapering kit. It comes with everything you need, and that's what we're using today. Take your roll of paper and place it in the wallpaper tray full of water. Now don't be afraid of your paper. Push it in there and get it wet. Then start to pull this out slowly, just like this. When you get about 3/4 of the way, what you do, pull that out a little bit more, is make your first fold. Okay? The long fold is going to be the top of your paper. This will give you plenty of room to work with. Now go ahead and pull the rest of the paper out. Let me stop here and tell you, if you see some dry spots like this, you need to be sure that you wet those down. You want all of the paper completely wet. Okay, take your last fold and meet the other one like that. And then remember, the shorter fold is the bottom. Finish folding your paper, just like this. Fold it all up. And then you can dump out the remainder of the water. Now, you can set this aside and let it book. What booking is it's the water activating the glue, and it's also softening the paper, relaxing it so that it's easier to work with. Let this sit for just a few minutes, and then you're ready to hang. When your paper's ready, you need to unfold it, and remember, the long fold was the top of the paper. So take it just like this, go up your ladder, Grab the top of your paper and then you can let the rest drop, just like that. Now you need to allow at least an inch excess at the top. So I'm going to let that go up on the ceiling. And what you want to do is line this up with the edge of the wall, pretty much like this. So what you need to do, if you're starting on a door like we are, is take the corner of the door and make your first cut at a 45-degree angle here. Okay? And then there is where the bottom of the door frame is. So I'm just going to cut this over just like that. Okay, I'm going to smooth this down a little ways here, and then I'm going to cut down the door like this. Now you need to take your wallpaper brush that comes in the kit and smooth this out. Okay, when you're finished doing that, you can take the flat blade, push this paper up to the ceiling, gently though, because you don't want to tear your paper. Then you can make your cut. Push that up like that, and then cut it off. As you put up each strip of paper, you'll see the seam, and what you need to do is take your hand and push this seam together, just like that. Then you can take the roller to flatten your seams down. And what you're doing is blending your paper to make it look like you have one continuous pattern. Now here's a challenge that you'll probably face: corners. As you can see, this last piece didn't quite make it to the end. So I've put up a new piece on this wall. This is an unusual situation because it's such a tight area to work in. That's why I'm pushing this strip of paper to the other one. And make sure that you push it instead of pull it so that you don't rip your paper. And again, line up your pattern and then just push the seam together.